It wasn't that I was imagining that I was making a career change. I was basically doing one concert. And that was the plan, was to try this experience as a conductor for one concert, to prepare for this and to do it. And I can tell you that I had, before the concert, a very strong feeling inside, a very emotional feeling. And at the time, I couldn't name it. Although I would say, in retrospect, the quality of that feeling was parental. And that's a very important word because as a singer, we can be much more like the child. We can be much more precocious, volatile, difficult, self-centered. And I think the feeling that parental feeling that I now remember, it was this feeling of responsibility, and I liked it very, very much. I thought, yeah, this is something that I would like to explore further. And luckily for me, the debut as a conductor was a positive one, and it immediately led to more engagements as a conductor. So now my life is almost 50-50. I'm still a singer and I'm also a conductor. So I get to kind of live in these two worlds that I love very much. And as a singer, I think the extra special quality that I can bring to conducting is that I'm a professional breather. You know, singers are either making the sound or they're breathing. And that is something that I can give also when I'm conducting, is this sense of a singing sound and of breath, even if I'm not singing. Equilibrium is a mentoring initiative for young professional musicians, mainly singers. I started it a couple of years ago, and this season is our first official season. And I started Equilibrium because I wanted to find a way to give back to this music industry that I love so much. And I wanted to help my younger colleagues with the same kind of generosity that I've received from my mentors over the years. And I wanted to do it in an official way, like an apprenticeship for professionals. So it's clearly not an education program, it's not a training program. All of these singers are finished their studies. Some of them are singing with London Symphony and Berlin Philharmonic and Sasha Waltz Company. So they really have started on their path. And what I'm trying to do is to help provide some guidance. I'll say it again. What I'm trying to do is to help provide some guidance for them so that they can develop and maintain their discipline, their focus, all of the skills that they need that are not just about singing and being a good musician, but about being a good colleague, about being a healthy person, and developing all the skills around what it is to have a career so that they can not only be successful, but that they can be really truly satisfied in their career. When I was 23 years old, I was asked to sing the role of Anne Truelove in the Rake's Progress. And it was a production in Banff. I was the understudy for the lead of that production, but they made for the understudies our own production. So I was in a really fortunate position. And we studied the music in depth, and it was a role that I adored. It was really the first major role that I ever sang. And over the years, I sang it in a few productions here and there. And then the idea came up to do an opera project. And for me, it was natural that the first opera that I ever really sang would be the first opera that I would ever really conduct. I also love the story of the Rake because it's a fable, it's timeless, it's about many of the, let's say, the 7 deadly sins. It's also about the qualities of love and loyalty, about honesty. It's about greed and heartbreak. It's about selling your soul to the devil without even realizing it. It's about selling out, you know, about losing your values. So there's no way to say that the story is old or the story is new. The story is just with us all the time. And also with a character like the devil, I don't want him to be a stereotype, Nick Shadow. I don't want him to walk in and everyone goes, oh, there's the bad guy. No, I mean, the reason why Nick Shadow is so convincing is because he's so likable. You don't even realize that you sold your soul to him. And all of a sudden, you've ruined your life and the lives of many other people. Oh yeah, well let me talk about Brussels. Because, I mean, you know, I've been performing at La Monnaie for many years. I sang Du Sapin's Passion. I sang Hosokawa's Matsukaze there. I sang Christophe House of Sleeping Beauties. Grand Macabre with La Fura des Baus from Ligeti. And then, most importantly, I feel, I made my debut in the role of my lifetime as Lulu in 2012. And Peter de Calloway believed in me and gave me that chance. It changed my life, you know, really changed my life. So Brussels is like, oops, sorry, the microphone. you should keep that in. Brussels is really an incredibly special place for me. I've also been part of the Clara Festival before. I sang Belinda in Dido and Aeneas with Jan de Kort, who directed, and Richard Egar, who was conducting the orchestra with the B-Rock Orchestra. We do have a concept for the piece. One of, I think, the most important words to describe it is witnessing. That is that, as the plan is now, all the singers, all the orchestra, all the chorus are on stage all the time. Everyone is witnessing what is happening in this performance. Everyone is witnessing the storytelling. That said, we have a central unit. This is a large box that breaks open at the beginning of the opera. And in the box is one of the characters. And the box opens in a certain way that it becomes the playing space. So it's kind of like those childhood games. When your foot is on the square, you're in the game, and when your foot is outside the square, you're not in the game. It's like that. I am absolutely thrilled to bring the Rake's Progress to the Clara Festival this March with Ludwig Orchestra and Equilibrium Young Artists. It's a project very, very close to my heart, and I can't wait to share it with the Brussels audience.